Good morning. My name is Lorna and I am one of the ministers from Witham United Reformed Church, bringing you another midweek catch-up, this time in the middle of Holy Week. We are drawing near to the end of Lent, the time of year when we think about putting our lives in order, dying to sin and living for Jesus. Living the life in all its fullness Jesus offers us, promises us. Easier said than done, of course, and not achievable in one Lent, or several. Many years ago, I worked for a bank. And the last department I worked in was Human Resources, or HR. One of the things we often asked in staff reviews was, where do you want to be and what do you want to be doing this time next year? Or in 5 years' time? Or 10? Obviously, the idea was for them to be thinking about a career path, some kind of progression. It's not a bad question to ask ourselves from time to time, because when we articulate where we would like to be, what we would like to be doing, and when, it gives us a focus and a specific purpose. Being vague doesn't help. In 3 years' time, I want to be successful. Doesn't really focus the mind on how that might be achieved. In 5 years' time, I want to be a teacher. Yeah, you can set a plan in place to achieve that, getting the right qualifications and training, for example. In 1 year's time, I want to have a better understanding of the Bible. Great. You can set some more detailed objectives, goals, and put markers in place to focus and also to plan how you're going to achieve your goal. You might decide how you're going to mark your progress as you go to make sure you are progressing. You might start by looking at the Bible as a whole, how all the different books and types of writing and the writers themselves fit together into the big picture. You might invest in a study Bible, which gives introductions to each book and each character. Well, not every character, but a lot of character profiles and maps and very helpful information. You might invest in a copy of Unlocking the Bible, and that's a book I can definitely recommend. As a church fellowship, we are looking at where we want to be in the future, what we want to be doing. Long term, we want to exist. I say that almost flippantly, but it isn't a joke. It is serious. Indeed, we want not just to exist, but to be thriving. As a fellowship, we know we are here to celebrate God and to share the love of Jesus. That is our vision. That is the work God has entrusted to us, to every fellowship. Jesus told his disciples to disciple others. How will we know if we are doing that? Well, we have some specific goals and need to decide how we are going to achieve them, and then, very importantly, review regularly to see if we are still on track. One of our goals is that each and every one of us, as we travel along our path of faith, will be recording mentally, or in a prayer diary, or in some way, our story. Because we recognise God at work in our life. Recognise and acknowledge God at work in our life. This is really exciting. It is the basis for our own story of faith. It won't be like Saul's Damascus Road encounter, but it will be equally meaningful for us and transform us, just as it did Saul to Paul, albeit in a far less dramatic, more normal way. But a way that those with whom we come into contact will notice and be able to engage with. Now that's really exciting. A little bit scary maybe, but very exciting. Another of our goals is that each and every one of us will enjoy praying. Yes, enjoy praying. And be equipped to encourage and support others by praying for them and with them. We want to debunk the myth that prayer is difficult, or boring, and show you how it can be exciting and a pleasure. Transform it into the privilege it is, or at least should be, rather than another ought to because I was taught to. That becomes a burden. There are more goals. They were sent out with the church meeting agenda. And that's going to form the basis of our discussion at the next church meeting, which is on April 27th. So do come and join us, because these are really exciting times. We've been cut off from congregational worship and community activities for a year. But God has remained incredibly and very noticeably active throughout. Our God is alive and active. And I want to be involved in whatever he does, whatever he is doing in our community. God will achieve his purposes, with or without me, with or without us. But I really want to be a part of it, and I hope you will too. New things lead to new life. And that's what Easter is all about. It's a time of new life and growth. So I hope that you will enjoy the Easter services this year. Tomorrow evening, Maundy Thursday, 8 p.m, there's a Zoom communion. You'll get the link via email for that. Please do join us. Good Friday, there's a morning service at 10:30, which will be live streamed from the church, as indeed will the Easter Sunday morning 10:30 service be live streamed. But on Easter Sunday, there will be a smallish congregation. Please let Tony know if you would like to be there. There's also going to be a very short, 30 minutes, service in the church forecourt at 9 a.m. You will need to stand or bring your own folding chair, please. We will all be socially distanced and we will all be wearing masks. But for the first time in a year, we will be singing, which is great. So I look forward to seeing you over Easter. Bless you. Goodbye.